Hi, Scanner members. It's Jared Johnson here. Happy to be with you guys. Getting the update posted a little late today. Tried to get up a little bit earlier, but I've been watching the markets all day long, all night, all day. There hasn't been too terribly many amazing scanner trades yet. So we're just waiting. We're letting this week start off patient. You know, we did a good job on, we closed out our Euro Swiss trade last week for some pretty darn good profits. We hit that low, and I saw that we had some good resistance over here, and some good support, and it was holding. We had some nice missed targets. I thought, let's get this thing closed out. It's run up. It's taken out some of these targets. We got out of a good spot on that Euro Swiss. So that was a great little exit last week, along with some other good short-term trades. Right now, this week, we are currently sitting in this Swiss yen. So this is kind of the final frontier that we're sitting in. Remember, our Swiss yen, we have entries at 110.22 and then 109.90 area. We spaced them out. You know, it's kind of a shorter term trade that has dragged on and on and on. So we spaced them out not too far apart, only about a little over 30 pips apart. This is looking good though. We got into it from the 15-minute chart all the way back here. We still have 3 consecutive daily pivots that are missed. We still have some great targets up here. 15-minute chart was looking nice. It's just kind of bounced around here a little bit. It's hit the 15-minute 200 EMA, but now we're at a decent little bar count on this hourly chart. We're at 230 bars on the hourly chart, which is not nothing. We just barely hit that 30-minute 200 EMA. We had a pretty good bar count going on there, right around 400 bars. So it's kind of just working its way up into hitting some of these areas. I would like to add to it again. We're sitting here about 109.50, and it seems to really be bouncing around in this 109.50 area. Again, this turned a little tiny bit longer term than I wanted, but that's okay. We have to hold on to some of these trades sometimes, and that's all right. We have a little bit of a possible head and shoulders pattern happening here. So maybe this thing dips down a little bit more and then hopefully makes that break up towards these 3 consecutive missed pivots and this weekly pivot and all this stuff up here. So Swiss yen looks good. It's just slow and steady. So we're going to kind of let that just play out. And, like I said, I might add a third and kind of final position in the lower 10900s and just kind of let this thing play out and do what it hopefully will do. So that's Swiss yen. That's looking good. Everything's kind of working its way on out there. Let's look at where the bar counts are. We'll start at the hourly chart. Remember, these are kind of longer term setups that we're just, keeping an eye on. One of the higher bar counts here you can see is, there we go. Some of the higher bar counts are Swiss pairs, right? We've got dollar Swiss, 274. We have our Swiss yen, which is 231. We've got a little pound dollar in there, which I don't really trade too terribly much. Everything's definitely showing some extension in Swiss directions. So we've already got our exposure on this Swiss yen. So we might stay away from that dollar Swiss, which is kind of getting in that higher bar count area. It's not totally there yet, but it's kind of getting there. But we've got enough Swiss exposure right now. We're probably going to try to focus on a couple of other currencies. Probably going to steer clear of that pound dollar, but that's a little while before that gets, in the higher count, higher area as well. Let's go down to some more immediate stuff. We're starting to see 30-minute charts, 209 on Aussie New Zealand. We're liking that. That's not super far away. It's only about 27 pips away from the 200 EMA. Not a huge, probably not a huge trade in the works there, but I think we've got something we can work on. So Aussie New Zealand. Then we've got, a bunch of other just 100 bar counters. So nothing too amazing on the 30-minute chart at the moment, except for Aussie New Zealand, which is making the radar, but it's still a bit early. Still a little bit early. As we go down to the 15-minute chart, these numbers will add up much more quickly, so there's some stuff we can do there. We're working on some decent numbers on a New Zealand dollar, US dollar bar count. It's only about 14 pips away, about 206 bars. We're going to see if that thing can get looking a little tiny bit better and give us some higher numbers, and we can start buying in. I'd love to start buying into New Zealand dollar, US dollar. We'll talk a little bit about some of the dollar dynamics that we're looking at and kind of what's happening there. But you can see there's nothing too exciting just yet on the 15-minute chart. This is why, like I said, I've been watching the charts all day. I've been looking for scalps. I've been looking for 15-minute trades. I've been looking for 30-minute trades. Everything's just kind of sitting. The week is starting off a tiny bit slow, and that's all right. That happens sometimes. But we should get some good trades in here, and we should get some nice things happening. Okay, we go down to the 5-minute chart, and some of these bar counts again on the 5-minute chart. When you see a 100+ bar count, that can turn to a 200+ bar count very quickly. When you see a 100+ bar count on the 30-minute or the 1-hour chart, that takes a long time. But on the 5-minute chart, by this time tomorrow, we could have a massive bar count on this thing. There's not a lot of pips to work with right now, only about 7, but there's some good stuff there on that euro dollar that we're going to keep an eye on. I really actually like the euro dollar a lot. We're going to look at that one. Euro Aussie's got a decent bar count. I don't love trading that one, but it's worth keeping an eye on from time to time. So we'll watch that. That'll be on the radar. And then dollar peso's got a decent 5-minute bar count as well. So let's look at a couple of those. So here's our Swiss yen. Here's this Aussie New Zealand, and I think this was this the 15 or this was the 30-minute? So Aussie New Zealand's given us, it's starting to give us a little bit of a bar count here on this 30-minute chart. You can see, we're over 200. We're going to watch this thing. I like Aussie New Zealand. Anything, any movements lower, and it looks like it's already trying to, it pulled back and it's headed a little further south. The closer we can get to 10500 and even below 10500, we are going to jump on this thing like nobody's business. But we've got to get it down there a little bit lower, and we've got to get it, dropping down just a little bit more. So this is on the radar. We're going to watch this. I want to see that get as close to 10500 as possible, and then we'll start buying that, hopefully with a really nice 15-minute bar count, 30-minute bar count on our side there. So Aussie New Zealand's going to be one that we're going to be watching, ready to attack, ready to take action on that. So we'll jump on that. Euro dollar. Let's talk a little bit about euro dollar. We're getting a bit of a bar count on this euro dollar. And we'll see how this thing plays out. Euro dollar's given us, a pretty decent even 1-hour bar count. You go to some of the smaller time frames, and if this continues pulling or pushing up, I might be looking to sell it and just grab some scalps and some quick pips. As we saw in the scanner, as we see right here, we're just, we're creeping up on 120 bars. Nothing super special, but if this continues to push a little bit higher, I will sell it because I think we have a little bit of dollar, probably a little push in dollar weakness coming up, and I think that'll be okay to just jump into a little sell trade, grab a little scalp, maybe up around just around above 1200, get it back down there to that daily pivot, and grab 15-20 pips out of it. Should be an easy trade. Overall, though, especially if we get a big push down here, euro dollar's giving us a bigger, longer hourly bar count as well. So we're creeping up on 200 bars here. This is going to be a slow process, but if this thing can give us some big pushes down without hitting that hourly 200 EMA, we're going to have some real high probability trades in the works. Some bigger, longer term trades that we're going to be looking at and talking about. So euro dollar should be really, really interesting for that. New Zealand dollar, remember New Zealand dollar, same kind of thing. That bar count was on this 15-minute chart. So we got a little 15-minute chart bar count. We'll see how far this thing goes. We've got a nice little weekly pivot here. And so if this thing makes a little bit of a push higher, we'll probably find ourselves with a little quick New Zealand dollar sell. Just a quick little short-term mover. I think we're going to be fine to jump into something like that. If we get that up, making a bump into that weekly pivot up above, then we can sell it, take that little 5-minute bar count and trade it down towards this weekly pivot here, and we should be able to grab a handful of pips on that. So those are going to be some of the ones I'm going to watch. I'm going to watch New Zealand, Aussie New Zealand, New Zealand dollar, Euro dollar. We're watching our dollar Swiss, and we're just going to be looking for some of the other bar counts to line up, give us some setups, and give us some nice little moves. So we're patiently waiting. Like I said, a little bit of a slow start of the week. I'm going to look for some scalps. I'll get those posted. I'm going to look for a bunch of different things. But we'll keep an eye on our Swiss yen and anything else that sets up over the next, day, 2, 3, and just jump into whatever, whatever gives us the criteria and the movement that we want to see. So we'll take it from there. One little thing to remember, guys, is that we do have some interesting news this week, right? So we've got U.S. interest rate news on Wednesday and U.S. employment news on Friday. So those two things could be pretty significant as far as the movement in some of these dollar pairs. So we're going to be a little extra careful with dollar pairs, but we'll be ready to kind of trade those and see how they go. Thanks, everybody. Hopefully you have a wonderful, fantastic, great, excellent day. Any questions you have for me, don't hesitate to type into the chat. I'm here and happy to help, guys. Take care, everybody.